What's up guys, V here, and in today's video I want to show you how I made that extra Strimer cable for my CPU cable on my motherboard. Now this is super easy to do, and honestly even if you had two CPU cables up there you could still do this. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Basically the one that I used up there is the Strimer Plus, not the V2. And why that matters is because with the V2, this is actually a V2, but this is a triple 8-pin. You would just need, I would recommend a double 8-pin. With the older ones, these were not separated the way these are. So these are separated, and if you actually take these black covers off, which they're meant to be taken off to be swapped to the white covers anyways. So if you take these off, just like that, now you have the cable all by itself, just like this. And what I did over there with the V1, basically this will work with the V1. So the reason I use the V1 is because I had that laying around and I wanted to test it to see if it works. Basically, the V1 has this thing attached to this, like it's glued on. Actually, you can kind of see the glue right in here. And it's glued in just like this. It's a double 8-pin. And basically if you just flip it like back like this, you could see the internals and then it comes right off. So it doesn't ruin the cable, but that's why I recommend the V2. Now, if you have the V1 laying around, it's the same exact concept. Like I said, take this thing off of the cable at the proper end. Don't ever take off the one that's on this end because you can ruin it. But yeah, basically that's the concept there. So once you got all three of these off, you see they're individual cables. Take off the other end so you can completely remove the cables. So there you go. This end I would leave on just like that. So once you got just this with the cable and you don't have the GPU cables on here anymore, you would take your preferred cable, in this case the CPU cable, and you can use any CPU extension cable or the original one from a power supply. This is an original power supply cable. So basically you would take these two, you'd merge them together. Give yourself just a little bit of slack over here so this can still twist into the socket over there. That's when you take your electrical tape, and keep in mind they sell at some stores and Amazon. I'll link some in the description, but they sell colored electrical tape. So if you're going for a red theme, you can buy red electrical tape. They also have white if you want that. I just go with black because it blends in with my case. So here's my black electrical tape. I'm just gonna take like a little chunk. That's definitely too much, but that's okay. So I got about that much. I'll go ahead and take my cable. What you want to do is put it nice and tight, like right at the edge, and then do one of these just so it stays in place. And then you can continue that and hold it tight so it kind of forms to the other cable, but not too tight because you got to play around with this part. So I would do it something like that, and I'll try to straighten it out a bit. And keep in mind you won't see too much of the tape in there because again it's gonna bend in like that, so it's not a huge deal. Then also, obviously this is a triple 8-pin, but let's assume you only had a double. You could technically even do all three, but that would just be a little weird. But yeah, if you got the double 8-pin, you could tape both together, and if you do have two CPU cables going to your motherboard, then that would be perfect. But yeah, tape it down like that. All I would do with these is I would fold them in kind of like this. And the way I did that one, because I don't really care about that cable back in my case, I actually twisted these all the way around and then I taped them with some black tape, just so they're not visible back there, because they will all light up as well. So yeah, you would plug this in just like this, tuck these in the back somewhere, and that's literally it. Just hide this cable somehow behind it like I have in my case, and then you would go ahead and plug in the other end. Now you're probably wondering, how would you plug this in separate from the controller? Because as you know, the controller only supports 2 cables. The double 8-pin and the triple 8-pin come with its own adapter that goes to addressable RGB. So I'm going to show you this. So you would take that extension piece that it comes with, and then it just plugs in just like that. You'd plug it into your addressable RGB header on your motherboard. Definitely don't do this while your PC is on. I'm an idiot, but yeah. And there you go. See, it's lighting up. It's being controlled by my motherboard. I'll go ahead and change the lighting effect real quick so you can see. So let's go digital wave. There it is. Hopefully you can see that. I know my lights are a little bright in here, but yeah. It is completely a CPU cable now. Again, like I said, you would just kind of tuck these away and whatever, do with them what you will, but that's how it should look in your case, you know? And like I said, this is a DIY thing. It's not gonna look perfect. You can definitely play around with the taping and stuff to make it look a little more professional, a little more perfect. It's completely up to you how you do it. This is very DIY. Get creative with it. You know, you can put this on pretty much anything. Actually, the main idea that I got this from was the G Fuel build, the first G Fuel build that I did, where I had the lights coming out of the cans. So that's what gave me the idea, and that's why I did what I did in my case. I think it looks great. I think it's perfect. I mean, it matches the other 2 cables now, and yeah, it's not all controlled by the same software, but chances are you have your motherboard software controlling some lights in your case anyways, so that's a perfect way to do that. Now, I hope I explained this pretty well. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this type of content, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and always feel free to subscribe. It is always free. And now with that, my name is V. I don't know if that's a V. Is that a V? Anyways, peace.